Hey, what's up, Shinkers, and welcome back to the channel. So today's topic might feel a little heavy at first glance, but it's absolutely one that we need to talk about. And it's about really normalizing the reality, of understanding the circle of life, which means that the entire end-to-end of the life cycle of the stream. I know, nobody likes to see their precious stream die. And for many of us, each stream isn't just a stream, right? It's a living creature we have cared for, nurture, and admire. So we remember the first time we saw a buried female, the excitement of spotting tiny streamlets for the first time, and the pride when a tank becomes self-sustaining with life flourishing everywhere. So yes, when one of them passes, it can sting, and sometimes more than we expect. But here's the thing, all living things will have to die. And in the micro world of our aquariums, where life cycles are much shorter, death is something we will inevitably see. So what does it mean to normalize dead stream? So what does it really mean? It's about really understanding about that life and death are two sides of the same coin. It's about accepting that even in the healthiest and most well-maintained tanks, some streams will simply reach the end of their life, natural lifespan. It might be from old age, it might be from fail mode, it might even be from a mating dance that has gone wrong. And if you are someone like me managing over 100 tanks, you will see these patterns, fairly often. So one stream today, another tomorrow. Sometimes you won't even find the body because it has been consumed by other streams. It's a sobering thought, but it's also a beautiful reminder of how complete the cycle of life can be. So let's be real, stream keeping is full of emotional highs and lows. The highs is like, oh, they are so incredible. You see your successful colony take off, watching a buried female fan her eggs, and then discovering dozens of streamlets grazing happily on moss. It's like watching nature perform magic in miniature. But then there are also lows, right? So there's high, there's also low, and a buried female suddenly die, and then a sudden unexplained loss in the tank that was thriving just yesterday. So it's the same emotional cycle you will find in the larger ecosystem or even in itself: birth, growth, struggle, and death. And here's the part we often forget. You are not failing just because a stream died. Just remember that. You are not. You're not a bad stream keeper. You didn't suddenly lose your touch. It's just part of the story. Because in truth, streams are fragile. They live short lives, and their population curve will always fluctuate. Sometimes dramatically, sometimes gently, but never perfectly straight. So if death is part of the cycle, then when should you be concerned? When should we be concerned about this? Here's my personal benchmark. So if I find one dead stream in the tank on Monday, I don't panic. So I'll remove it and I'll observe the rest, but I carry on. If I find another dead stream in the same tank on Tuesday, now I do pay a little bit more attention. At that point, I will normally look more closely. Are the remaining streams hiding unusually? So are they less active? Are they clustering near the surface or staying in corners? These are very, very important signs of it. If yes, I will take immediate action. I'll move them to a stable backup tank, or if I don't have one ready, I'll use a netting box, a breeder box in another healthy tank as a temporary refuge. Meaning I'll do a soft reset on the problem tank, do a partial water change, recheck parameters, throw the old soil away from the reset basket and add new soil to the basket and let it cycle. Why do I use two streams as the benchmark? Because in my opinion, it's the tipping point. So one stream can die for countless harmless reasons: fail mode, mating stress, simple old age, but two in quick succession could mean the start of a chain reaction. And if you are a serious breeder or hobbyist, this is also the perfect moment to do a quick census. Sometimes what look like a random death is actually a skewed male to female ratio. Too many males can overwhelm the females during mating attempts, causing stress and eventually fatal outcomes. If left unchecked, this stalls the colony breeding cycle altogether. So yes, two stream death in a row is your signal to pause and investigate. Here's a reality check many hobbyists don't expect at first actually. The more tanks you have, the more depth you will see. Sound harsh, but think about it logically. So like for example, if you have 1,000 streams across your setup, and each week you gain 10% more from your new streamlets, but lose 1% from natural causes, there's still 10 streams dead each week. And if you are running like 100 tanks, odds are you will see at least one dead stream every few days. But here's the key: your population is still growing, life is still winning. And when should you truly worry? So when the number of deaths starts to outpace the number of new streamlets. So that's when the colony is in decline. And if you zoom out for a moment, you'll notice this is the same challenge we see in human society: an aging population without enough new life to balance it out. Funny enough, this mirror the world outside more than we realize. So for those of you watching this and sitting on the fence about starting a family, whether it's your first child or your second, maybe this is a gentle nudge. Life keep moving forward when we allowed it to. So the beauty of stream keeping isn't just about creating the perfect environment. It's about witnessing the full story of life unfold before your eyes on a scale you can truly observe, in a time frame you can truly feel. You see birth, you see the struggle, you see the death, and in that you begin to understand something deeper about the resilience of life. Yes, a stream dying is sad, definitely. So especially if it's one that you were attached to, a special female who gave you your first colony, or a rare pattern you have worked months to stabilize. But with every death comes space for new life. So what's the takeaway here? So number one, don't panic at a single death. Remove the stream, monitor the rest, and move on. Number two, pay attention after the second death, because you have to check activity levels, behavior, and water parameters. Number three, have a backup plan. Whether it's a spare tank, a netting box, or a breeder box in a stable tank, always have a place to move streams if needed. Number four, observe the colony balance. Too many males, poor genetics, or hidden stresses can cause slow declines that you might miss until it's too late. Number five, accept the natural rhythm. Even in the best tanks, there will always be some loss. And more importantly, focus on the bigger picture. If your colony is breeding, thriving, and generally stable, you're doing great. So when I step back and look at my tanks, hundreds of them, I'm always struck by how much they teach us about life itself. They teach us about patience, they teach us about resilience, they teach us that perfection doesn't exist, but balance does. And they remind us that even in small worlds, life and death coexist in harmony. So the next time you'll find a dead stream in your tank, take a deep breath, remove it gently, and instead of seeing it as a failure, see it as a quiet reminder of the beauty of the whole journey. Because for every stream that dies, there are dozens more living, growing, and carrying forward the legacy of the colony you have built with care. That, my friend, is the real reward of this hobby. And to everyone watching, whether you are just started your first tank or managing a hundred of tanks like me, remember you're not alone in this. We all go through the same cycle of hope, loss, and renewal. And it's that shared experience that makes this community so special. So keep learning, keep observing, and keep caring. And above all, keep moving forward. So peace out.